Ladies and gentlemen, the American Injuring Bulldog Nation, today's show is sponsored by Deters Law. Trump spoke the other day about what's going on in this country, and he made reference to the United States becoming a third world country based upon supply chain issues and shortages. And it is pretty extraordinary what is going on in this country. Joe Biden failed in his entire Ukraine policy, per a United States commander commenting on it as such. Of course, we already knew that. He blew an opportunity to stop this. And you know why? We've discussed it, because he wanted it. He didn't want to stop the war. He wanted to make a distraction from all his woes. And of course, that's sick, isn't it? Isn't that sick? That's sick. Russian troops. I called this. Called it way before anybody else did. There's full-blown reports all over the place now that Russian troops are damaging their equipment so it doesn't work, not carrying out commands, not carrying out orders. There's a full-blown mutiny going on with troops in Ukraine, and I will guarantee you countless troops are taking off their uniforms and walking to Poland. Maybe driving their tanks to the border, then walking to Poland. Well, a new report's in. By the way, it's actually a government report that the federal government spending is what resulted in this crazy inflation. So what does Biden want to do? He wants to spend more money. Chris Rock had his first show in Boston last night. First show since the events of the Oscars. He says he's still processing everything. By the way, he came out to a 3-minute standing ovation. Said he's not ready to comment on it yet. His opening line was, "What did you all do last weekend?" Or, "How was your weekend?" Smith, it was reported, actually refused to leave the Oscars after the incident. And of course, they've opened up an investigation. Isn't that hysterical? What do we need to open up an investigation for? Sad story. Bruce Willis has announced, and his family's announced, that he is suffering from a degenerative brain condition where he's having a harder time identifying language, being able to comprehend. Very sad, very sad. I like Bruce Willis. He's only 67 years old. Too young. Too young. What a life he's led, though, in 67 years. The FEC, Federal Election Commission, has fined Hillary Clinton a nebulous amount of money. I think the total had to pay $150,000, an $8,000 fine, something like that, on the Steele Dossier. Now, like Trump says, where do I get my reputation back? Now just think about that. The FEC, the Federal Election Commission, has now said this was just awful what they did, fines them after the fact, big deal, what difference does it make? Hillary Clinton, political gangster. Now, did you see Joe Biden get his vax shot yesterday? I was watching the news when it happened. You know, I keep thinking to myself, you know, Joe, increpid Joe going over, rolling up his sleeve, getting his shot. You know, gosh, they're lucky like something like doesn't immediately happen. Wouldn't that be wild if something immediately happened? Like an adverse reaction immediately? Evidence is out now. The CDC coordinating with teachers' unions on lockdowns. Incredible. Disney workers that opposed the new Florida gender and sexual orientation bill are saying they're trying to erase gay kids. See, not allowing teachers to indoctrinate, they then say, well, they're trying to erase. Washington Post has come out and now joined the New York Times that the Hunter Biden, it's all real. Yeah, just like Jack Dorsey after the fact. So yeah, we probably should have covered Hunter Biden a little different. Zero coverage. Zero. Now after the fact, they say, yeah, this is real. Like everybody didn't know it wasn't real before. A Yale administrator has stolen over a 7-year period $40 million of electronics that she then sold to somebody else, like sold back to somebody else, and pocketed the money. $40 million to live a crazy lifestyle. May 23rd, the United States government under Joe Biden is going to drop the Title 42 restrictions. So over 1 million people have poured in this border illegally since Biden took office. There's going to even be more now. Joe Rogan announced that he will not change his style. He'll quit before he does. New reports, Supreme Court nominee Jackson, leniency towards child porn, 60% more lenient sentences to those convicted of child porn than other judges. Sick. She's sick. CNN has lost 56% of their viewers. It was already down. 56% of their viewers in the first quarter. How do they survive? Stephen Colbert says that Joe Biden ought to slap Peter Doocy the next time he asks about chemical weapons. A North Carolina medical student bragged about intentionally injuring a patient because the patient made a wisecrack about her pronouns. Eric Church, you talk about a North Carolina fan, has canceled his sold-out Saturday concert to attend the Duke, North Carolina game. Susan Collins strikes again. This is what Romney, Collins, Murkowski, all of them give to us. She's announced that she'll support Judge Jackson. BlackRock. Now, BlackRock is this gigantic hedge fund. BlackRock president says, brace for shortages, all of you entitled generation. This is a guy who's, billionaire, and he talks to us like this. Biden tore into the political attacks on the transgender. He acts like, oh, how dare they're attacking. The Democratic Party and the American Communist 10 stands with all that is wrong with this country. Last but not least, in Great Britain, they're apparently now asking for pregnant men if they're pregnant before they do radiology on them. You know how they ask women if they're pregnant before they do a CAT scan, MRI? Well, they're now doing that for men, just to make sure those men aren't pregnant. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Have a great day.